it's Lisa with InkandInspirations.com. Thank you for joining me today. And in this video, I am sharing my second in a series of Christmas cards for 2014. And if you want an idea that you can recreate over and over again and mass produce and have some cards ready to send, you'll want to take a look. Okay, for this card, we're going to start with a Whisper White card base cut at 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. And I'm going to set that aside. And for this particular card design, I like to use the paper stack from Stampin' This is the Tree. Last year's holiday catalog had one as well, and I used it for this particular card design. And I like to choose one that has not a pattern, but not too busy, okay, and that has a reverse coordinating print, which all of these sheets in here do. You just have to choose your color preference. And I'm going to take it, and I want this piece of designer paper to cover the card front. So I'm going to cut long ways at 4 1/4 and across here at 5 1/2. And I want to save this piece, okay? So let's get our card front, and we're going to adhere just like that. And let me get some snail. This particular design is very classy looking. It's very clean and simple, but it is a beautiful card and works well with long sentiments or larger sentiments. But as you'll see today, I can adjust and make it work for a smaller one. Okay, so there's our front. And now I want a piece of Whisper White for stamping, and I'm going to cut that at 1 1/2 by 4 1/4. So that is going to span the width of the card as well. Okay, we'll set this aside and let's do our stamping. I am using this tag set, Merry Everything, this Merry Christmas, and I'm using my Cherry Cobbler ink pad because that's the red that's used in the designer paper. And I'm going to ink this up and make sure I have good coverage. And also, you don't want that. Sometimes I get too aggressive with my inking and get ink around the edges. You want to be sure you don't do that. I need to do a slight tap rather than pressing in. When I'm standing over videoing, sometimes I want to get too overly aggressive with my inking. Now I'm going to take this. You notice I don't put my stickers on my stamps because they adhere better for me. But this is the bottom here. So I want to line that up with the bottom of the cardstock. And I have practiced stamping on a scratch sheet of paper to know that that's going to be good placement here. Okay, so there it is centered. And now, last year's sentiment had a long scripted season's greetings or Merry Christmas. I can't remember exactly. But I want to fill in these spots here. But I don't want it to be difficult. I want just an easy stamp because this is, like I said, a great card to mass produce. And so I'm taking the little photopolymer Christmas tree from the Holiday Home Set. And I'm going to ink that up with Garden Green, which is the green in the designer paper. And I'm just going to stamp, and I'm just eyeballing it. And I move my hand, so photopolymer, we can reposition and stamp. Okay. And then on this side, ink it up. And I'm trying to get about the same distance and stamp. Okay. So there's our image. Now we want to take this little strip that we cut off, excuse me, and we want to use that as a border to separate this from the rest of our card base. So I'm going to get some snail and just And let's see, I think I want that cherry cobbler showing out the top. And you can adjust this for as much or as little as you want of this showing. And I'm just going to line it up end to end here. Try to get it straight. Okay, and then this is going to come over here, and you can see where I'm going. We're just about finished with this card. And when I make these, I cut all my bases first, then I cut all the background designer paper, then do all the stamping, and then you can just assemble, and it's great. And I like to use ribbon on this, and for Christmas cards or cards you know you're going to put in the mail, I don't think you can beat our seam binding ribbon because it is very easy to tie, number one, and number two, it can lie very flat inside your envelope. Okay, it doesn't have a lot of bulk. So on my previous card, I tied a bow, but if you want less bulk and dimension, you can just do a simple knot, and it will be a little less, oops, excuse me, a little less bulkiness there in your envelope. Okay, and let me get my scissors and trim this off. And then you can stamp on the inside if you'd like. I think what I'm going to do is take and ink up the little Christmas tree again and stamp that. Just to give the inside a little stamping, and then you can either find another sentiment you can stamp inside or write your own personalized greeting. Okay, so there's your card for today. That Trim a Tree stack of designer paper is perfect for this design. I hope you'll give it a try and let me know if you like it. Give it a thumbs up, and I will see you again next week with another Christmas card. Take care. Bye-bye.